what we do here is go back.
Okay, so today we're gonna try to put these fog lights in. These are LED fog lights, and because this bumper doesn't have the right opening, we had to source a used Grille that has the coverings, and this kind of will just show through like that when it's done. And yeah, let's get to it. I mean, we got this kit here, so I'll show you what's in the kit. First, it comes with these two LED fog lights, and they have, so it has a heatsink already on it. Those are the adjusters, and then it connects typically with the same connector that comes with the kit itself. These are the wires for the fog lights, typical, like similar to the ones you would put in an HID kit, and it has that connector. And then this is actually an aftermarket, but looks OEM. This is going to go inside the car and light up green potentially. I don't know what the color is yet, but I hear that it's green. And yeah, this should be pretty easy. So in order to put that Grille on, I'm gonna have to take the bumper off. So let's start taking the bumper off. Alright, next thing you gotta do is take off these wheel well bolts here. So we have here 10mm. Good. Go under here. There's a bunch of clips we gotta take off. A couple 10mm, one actual just clip. So you gotta take these, they have a screw, but they're also, I think they're 10mm. Take them off all the way down, and then we'll be able to basically remove the bumper, I believe, and get the other side. We gotta get the other side. So if I did that correctly, I should be able to release the bumper. One more. Ha! And there's probably one on the other side. Okay, so you do want to be careful because there is a clip here. Right there has a clip right here. You press on it down here, and then it should release and pull down from here. You might need somebody to help you, and I guess I managed to just lay it down. But now I can remove this entirely. Now we've got our bumper. So first I got to take this off. I think there are more 10mm. And if you care about your bumper, don't put it on the ground like this. But since my bumper's already fucked up, I can deal with it. I really don't care as much. So I'm just gonna do it. dismount this here. You gotta press on this little tab and it comes out. Okay, so that's all. Next step is to get rid of this old one. This is what it looks like. So these clips right there, gotta like push it out here to disengage so you can get this out. So pull it back, push that through, but it doesn't seem wanting to go. Maybe I can get some more up in here. Okay, now we're talking. Removed. Now they say we should install the fog lights before moving forward with the rest of the grill, so let's do that now. I did very simply. Now that the grill's on the way, I can stick it in there, and it actually just screws in right here. The one screw, and that's where you connect in the fog lamp. And it came with screws, so let's see if these work. Now what's beautiful about these lights is that they're actually marked right side, left side. They're DOT approved, so if, I don't know what state you're in, normally in my state, the inspection doesn't check for things like this, but the police potentially do. So just make sure, you know, it does have that DOT symbol, because that DOT is gonna trip you up otherwise. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, there it is. DOT. Boom. And let's get this in here. Now don't be afraid that it's only just the one screw. These are the same style lights they use for so many of their products, different cars. And so it basically, actually this is a kit from a different model. I'm gonna have to adapt the wiring harness, which I'll show you, because it was for a different car, but it was cheaper. But since it's all the same, really not that big of a deal. So now I got that back on. I guess we'll put that front grille over it, and then put the back piece back on. We're almost done. So be careful with this. This has these things. Be careful not to fuck them up, not to mess them up, and yeah, so we'll basically just put it back in and mount that thing back to it. So that's what it looks like. So these little clips are one directional. Can't really mess it up. Just stick it in. Now it's locked in. And Now this bolts this back into here. Okay. That's done. Next step is to go back to the bumper and wire up that wiring harness. That'll make our lives a little easier. To connect the harness and strap it down out of the way. So if we're looking at this harness here, so there's basically the two connectors for the fog lights. So there's two connectors for the fog lights, and then I will wire those up so that they drop down nicely, and then I'll run that through into the engine bay. Easiest thing when you're wiring is to go alongside the existing cables. So this will go up in there. So I've got my new wire. I twisted the ends a little bit here, and I'm gonna basically cut this one, splice into it so that I can get here. Longer to do this. Good news is we already put the bumper on, and then hopefully it doesn't get dark on us. We'll be able to wire everything from the inside. So let's put the bumper on. Oh, buddy, that looks real good. Oh man, look at those. I hope they're gonna be bright. this into the cabinet. We're running out of daylight, so I'll tuck it in here for now. So I can close the hood, but I'm not going anywhere, so I'll try it again in the morning. Okay, so day 2, we're gonna work on the inside of the car here. We have got to take off all of these panels and put the new button in here, wire it through the grommet to the engine bay to connect to the fog lights. So let's get started. One panel off. Right off. So in the back here there was this little plastic screw, and I don't know what the hell is on my finger. What is, ew. Button, gotta fit this one in here, wire it up, power here, put this through the firewall, and then wire 2 power, 1, and they're both, I'm gonna pull them both from the socket there so that it turns on and off. I gotta ground this in here. And then that's pretty much everything. So this is fuse power, that's going to power the fog lights. This is just switch power to turn on the switch, and then ground for the switch, the relay, the switch connector, which will go here. We have a problem. The pins are all like bent. It's not going in. Let's see. Can you see that? I don't think you can see that, but the pins inside there are bent. I have to open this up. Alright, it's on. So taking this out, put the switch in here so far. I've taken that bottom panel off, and then we're going to wire power from that outlet right there. And I'm going to open it up and we'll take a look at what's back there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to splice into the power wire here, and then connect it to a butt splice and split it into 2 different wires, and that'll give me power from my 2 different locations. I'll take this wire, and I'll just kind of put it on here. that's on there. Stick my wire in here. I can plunge this with pliers. So I have the two power wires here. I have this one and this one. And they both need to go separately. So this is going to be switch, and then powering the fog lights. These are some waterproof butt slices. I think we got it. Yep. That's great. Alrighty there. Twist them in good. Time for crimping. So, there we have it, a 1 to 2. Okay, so we can button this up now. We're pretty much done at the electrical outlet. Take them together real quick just so that I can get them through here where I want to put them, I want to route them potentially the same way everything else is routed. Alright, so now we've got this back here. We're actually going to use this screw right there as a ground. So I'm just going to wire up my ground, wire up the rest of these to the two power supplies connectors, button that up, and then take the power wire that's going to go through the engine compartment. It's going to go under here. It's going to go right through there. There is a hole in the side that should go right through to the engine compartment. So we'll be able to route the wire through using a hanger. So let's get to it. Well, I haven't been recording this whole time, so I'm gonna have to give you an update. So I've been able to patch up this entire setup here. I wired everything behind here. I zip tied it. I wired the button in. I put everything behind there. Tied it all up with, made my connection with my power wires. Ran them to here. The fuse is right here underneath where the under dash fuse panel is, and the other relay. They're all connected to here. There was a ground bolt right behind here that I used. Very easy to ground it. And now I'm just wiring this one to the inside using this. You can see here where the screwdriver is, where I've stuck my screwdriver in. That is the hole you're going to pass through the engine bay. So I'm going to route my wire alongside that one, because that one goes all the way in there. And then what I'll do is at the end of the wire, I'll connect it to this piece of wire hanger, tape it up, push it through the engine bay, pick it up on the other side. I use that plier to kind of take it apart. I know it's easier if you use pliers. You can't really do it by hand, you hurt yourself. So use some type of plier to, you know, straighten this out. And then let's get to it. We have our wire connected to our thing, our little snake tool wire hanger. I'm going to push it through the hole, and then we'll go find it on the other side. So close. It's in, but it won't go through the cover of the grommet hole. I wish I could just cut it off, but like, I can't get to it from the other side. That's the whole point of this. I'm having troubles getting there from the other side. Otherwise, it would be no problem. Fingers crossed. Okay, so that worked. So what I did was I stuck a screwdriver from the inside out, and then when I saw the screwdriver was popping through, I shoved the wire from this side into where the screwdriver opening was. And then when I poked it through, I pulled it through the interior, and then I taped it to the inside of the wire, and then I just pulled the wire through from this side, and it came through finally. And now I'm just going to route it behind this coolant tank, right behind the ECU, and tie it right there behind the fuse box. And then plug it in, and I should be good to go. But at least we're through the firewall, boys. Ladies and gentlemen, we are through the firewall. We are now able to proceed to the next step. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to clip this hanger a little shorter so that I can maneuver it through where I want it to be. I know this is actually quite long. Nobody wants this much cable hanging out here. Let's figure it out. What are we going to do? Now we're cooking with gas. We have it here where we want it. This is the rest of the cabling for the fog light. Conway wiring is just too fucking long. Okay. Let's cut it. Oh, just barely. A little bit more. There we go. I'm gonna need to do this very quick. I don't know why they gave us such a tiny power wire. This is crazy. Okay. How do we get this into my butt splice? I'm gonna need to do one of these. That's pretty thick. Let's see. These butt splices are supposed to be waterproof, so decent for being in the engine bay. Time to test it, and let's see. It was all worth it. It was all worth it. On first try. It's done. It's working. Beautiful. Wow.